Hello and welcome to part 2 of our transformation of ToyWorld's Evila Star. We of course know him as Astrotrain. Now in part 1, after a great deal of faffing around and trying to get the flipping toy to transform, we finally ended up with him in shuttle mode. And as just a quick comparison with the original G1 shuttle mode, it's pretty good. Obviously it's a lot larger, but the shuttle themselves, it looks very good. Now the G1 shuttle looks good, the third-party shuttle mode looks even better. Now we're going to transform him into robot mode. Now while there's more steps, 30 steps as opposed to 25 steps, it's a little bit easier. That's not to say it's easy by any stretch of the imagination, because there is quite a lot that needs to be done here. But it makes a little bit more sense, and hopefully you won't see quite so much of me going flipping thing, it won't turn. So let's start. So we've been taking away the original Astrotrain. Okay, so let's begin with this. What we need to do to begin with is start down the bottom here, take these parts up and away like this. This will enable the waist to swivel. As we know with nearly all third-party toys, the waist swivels, and it usually swivels during the transformation as well. Now we're just going to get these out the way like that, and put the little wheels back in here, and put these wheels down too. They're not needed to be up, so it makes sense to get rid of them now before we regress too far. Okay, so we've got these, put these back like that. What we now need to look at doing is producing some form of feet. So remember all these little panel parts here that closed and made a nice bit here, they will open again. Just move these up. I know I forgot to take them out last time, but we're remembering to close them this time. So panel parts start to open. Just open these parts. We will just disconnect them so they're not combined together. These parts rotate up and around there. Same deal here. Now this is going to be the front of Astrotrain. These are obviously going to be his feet. So what we're now looking at doing is just opening up these panel parts here and just sliding it into two like that. Okay, so feet wise, I think we kind of touched on it before, but that's going to be the foot like that. So you see we just undone that bit there. This is actually here is going to be the other side of it. So you see how it rests like so? That is our foot. Now you do have little red parts here. Not really sure what it does other than to perhaps provide a little bit of stability. So we'll flip it down. Yeah, your guess is as good as mine there, I'm afraid. Okay, this thing comes out here. Quite why these has to be separate, I guess it's purely around extra stability, but they don't need to be separate. Nevertheless, it's nice that you've got those options, isn't it? Okay, so we're kind of getting there, aren't we? With the feet. Of course, they do need to rotate around from that, because it should be. There we go. So this is his front, so you kind of want the feet to reflect that. Okay, so he's got knees here. Panel plates down, panel plates down. These do rotate, these panel plates that are on the side here go all the way down. And these, so you want the knees to bend, so this means this has to be that way. Waist front, take that. So what we're doing here is we're producing our, so you've got a nice strong ratchet there for the knee. And actually, do you know what? I have got these back to front. It should be this way around, so that all this gubbins here is the inside of his leg. Yay. So this is the front. You actually do need to. Yeah, I thought so. I had this the right way around. It's this part here, see, that needs to turn, so that now you have the ratchet there one is always stiffer than the other. I'm sure that's true of many things. There we go. So that's the legs and the feet done. Obviously he's not going to stay like that, so I'm just going to put these like that so they're all nicely there, nicely level. I don't know why I'm bothering leveling them out, because it's only going to move as we transform the rest of him. Do you know, I do think, yeah, these have got another, the feet here have got another movement out. So we're going to have to break out our trusty tweezers again. It's a feature on this guy. Everything is very, very tight. Possibly transformation lack of, or more likely, things just a bit too close together. So I'm just going to pop that one out of the way there. Now we just try and pop this in here. Try and read the word. There we are. So you now have it like that. This will then just rest on the edge there. And that's a far more secure base for the feet. Got to do the same thing on this side. So tweeze in the edge, pop it up. There we go, and then that just goes down there. That's more like it. Now we have a far stronger base. Far more stable base is probably the word I'm looking for. I don't really know why I'm trying to stand him up at the moment. We've got so much more work to do. Okay. Excuse me. Right. What should we do now? Let's do the arms. Remember how I hated these arms before? Piece of piss this time. You just do that. That's what they're supposed to do here. They come out and they are the arms. Same deal there. Ta-da. Much, much easier. Now is where it gets a little bit trickier. Okay, so we've got our tweezers now, so we can just pop this up like here. Obviously, just make sure that it pops up. That will then, we'll just get that out of the way at the moment. This then flips back down, goes in half and flips like that, so it's now out of the way. This means we can now have the fin come down here, and on this time we will open it. We're not going to open it just, well, we've opened it now obviously, but we're just going to close it again to get it out of the way. Okay, so you've got your guy like this, so he's split in two. This is where it gets a little tricky. I'll try and show it as best I can. So you've got two little parts here that flip in. That will then flip down like this, and then it goes back again like that. What you're aiming to do is that when this goes back here, the rear jets are just a little bit higher than his head. Not as high as they were, but a bit higher. And then this just pops back in like that. Okay, we are almost there now actually. Just going to tidy up the back here. So that just sits like so. These are nicely tied away there. Got all this tied away here. Goes away the front. Now, as for these bits, strictly speaking, in the instructions it does say to put them back, but you know what, I'm going to leave them out on display. Hands, he hasn't got any hands. Oh, how do their hands come out? It's actually quite a common movement on this now. Out, and then these will go. They will come up. If they don't, we're going to break out the trusty tweezers. Yeah, trusty tweezers again. A vital accessory when transforming. Astrotrain here. Everything about this toy is just, you don't need the trusty tweezers, I forgot. This part here is actually his hand, believe it or not. You push on it and the hand comes out. Yeah, I know. Why? No need for it, but hey ho, it's all, I guess they've tried to put, I think they probably tried to put too much in here to be honest, which is why it's so flipping complex. So push on this silver bit, and it's actually not a panel. It looks like it looks like paint, but it's not. It's actually that part of his hand, and then you do all of that. Okay, right, we're almost there. So shoulder pads go up, shoulder pads go up, and you have a free arm here. The hand does move around so that you can have And finally, we are just going to have the wing open, like so. Now just need to put everything together. So he stands up nicely, and then we can do the little comparisons for him. He's not as stable as I would have liked him to be. I suppose there's a lot of gubbins off his back as well, plus you've just got so much going on here. And he's also got 2 double guns to hold. Now the hands do open, so you can slot the gun in around the thumb and then close the fingers around the trigger. Same deal this side, you open the hands, you slot the gun in, and then you close the hands around the trigger. Okay, and there we have it, or not, as if it's fallen over again. Stay, stay, stay. Oh, he's going to be a bit pain, isn't he? There we are. You can't really see his head, can you? I haven't noticed that. Obviously I've been too busy holding him. Oh, come on, Astrotrain. Stop being a pain. Do you know what? I'm just going to show you like this, because we'll be here forever. Okay, so there he is. He looks just like Astrotrain does. The head is good. This panel here is good. It's a little bit high, but it's still good. I like the red. Robot mode works pretty well. The gun looks good. So it's the head and the chest, I think, and the stomach, which looks really good. He's just not very stable. It's unusual to get that on a third-party toy. Normally they are extremely stable, but he is not. And I think a lot of it is just because there's almost too much going on here. Oh, go away, gun. We'll just take the gun away because it's just going to get in the way. I think there's too much going on here. You can see the feet here. They are quite flexible, but they're not very large. And you've got a huge bit before you reach your knee. So just lift him up. It's just not really massively stable, which is a shame because the actual head looks pretty good. If I just pull that back a bit, so you can, you still can't see his head because of the wings, but never mind. Size-wise, we compare him against Masterpiece Prime here. That's not far off, is it? Well, it isn't far off at all. It is a Masterpiece toy, and it feels like a Masterpiece toy as well. Far too complex, stupidly complex, and with too many fiddly bits. The fact that you need a pair of tweezers to make this guy transform is just unnecessary. Maybe it will become easier with further transformations. I don't know, but I have to say, I think of the modes, I think the train mode probably looks the best. Shuttle mode's good. Robot mode is good once you can get him to stand up and pose, but he's really fiddly to get into that mode, and he's quite fiddly to stay up. He's easier to get into robot mode than he is to get into shuttle mode, thank God for that, but he's still a little bit too fiddly, a little bit unstable. I suppose I'm a little disappointed just with the complexity level. And that's unusual for ToyWorld. Normally they're pretty good. You get stuff which is never easy to transform, but is reasonable and is quite stable at the end. This guy misses that a bit, which is a shame. Okay, we'll now put him with his other ones as well. So we'll leave Prime there, or we'll add Prime together with the others and see how they look. Okay, so let's compare Astrotrain with some of his fellows now. Oh dear, that's kind of come off, and never mind. He's a little bit loose and sulky. We'll compare him with Blitzwing, who just towers over him, and with Octane, who's kind of on the same par as Astrotrain there, and also with Springer, who again, while being smaller than them, again is on the similar par. Astrotrain fares very fairly there, doesn't he? He's kind of just about middle of the height, because he's got a little bit more going on behind his back than Octane does. He's a little bit taller than Octane, and his head is just slightly higher. So he kind of feels middle of the road, and that's what you feel to be. So that's the end of part 1 of our Triple Changer special. I'll see you again for part 2. Thank you. Goodbye.